Welcome to part 24 of this series, trying to locate the sons of Noah and where they really went to. In this video we're going to be speaking a bit more about the sons of Gomer, Japheth, Ashkenaz. We've spoken a bit about Togarmah already. Please watch some of the previous videos first before you watch this one, because it's not designed to stand by itself, and if you don't watch some of the previous videos you're going to be a little bit confused about what we're speaking about. And we're also going to be speaking a bit more about the Apostle Paul and his journey and some of these regions and places that he went through. And it's definitely a video you're going to want to watch all the way to the end, because there's some very important information that comes out at the end that could be vital for the study. Let's start with Josephus, because Josephus says, "For Gomer found those whom the Greeks now call Galatians, or Gauls, but were then called Gomerites." So according to Josephus, the Gauls or Galatians come out of Gomer. So that's why I had this picture at the start of Celtic Gaul. And this is a very famous region with the wars between Julius Caesar and the Gauls, the Roman wars with Gaul. And this was a very difficult place for them to conquer. And this region of Germania, that some scholars have also tried to equate that with Gomer and the Gomerites for Germania. I just want to see, if we go to the book of Jasher, it says, "And the children of Gomer, according to their cities, were the Francum, who dwelt in the land of Franza, by the river Franza, by the river Sena." So this river Sena could be connected to the river Seine in France. So in this book of Jasher, it's connecting Gomer with the Franks and the land of France. So we have two sources that are bringing us here when we start thinking about these descendants of Gomer. And yeah, that's very interesting. Now I want to go to the next source. This Wikipedia page on Ashkenaz. They have this legend from this monk who lived in 1498 named Anio da Viterbo. Okay, and he said that there may have been a fourth son of Noah called Tuscan, and this Tuscan being the first ruler of Scythia and Germany following the dispersion of peoples. So this is very interesting, and some scholars have gone on to try potentially correct his work, that this Tuscan, not a fourth son of Noah, but the first son of Gomer, so Ashkenaz, because Ashkenaz is the first son of Gomer. But if we think about that, then what we could be saying is that Ashkenaz was the first ruler of Scythia and Germany. And that potentially would make sense, because we've already seen these details bringing us to this region, and it would make sense for Ashkenaz to be the first ruler potentially of Germania. So that's quite fascinating. But there's this other detail here that really caught my eye. It says that this Tuusco, the giant who they're equating with Ashkenaz, was sent by Noah into Europe after the flood, 131 years, with 20 captains, and made a settlement near the Tanais on the west coast of the Euxine Sea, by some called Asken from him. So they're connecting this word, the Euxine Sea, with Ashken. So maybe instead of saying the Euxine Sea, we could say the Sea of Ashkenaz. But we know this sea as the Black Sea, because the scholars, when they see this word Euxine, the Euxinous Sea in the ancient sources, they say it's the Black Sea. So when we look for that, it brings us here into this region of Turkey. But now we're seeing this connection potentially with this word being connected to Ashkenaz. So where was the land of Ashkenaz? And the sources so far are starting to make us look here in France and Belgium and Germania. So if this potentially was the land of Ashkenaz, and we have that legend that he was the first king of Germany, obviously that's a legend, so we can't put too much weight behind that. But if this was the land of Ashkenaz, should we not be potentially looking for the Sea of Ashkenaz in this region? So that's what I'm starting to wonder now about this Euxine Sea and its connection with Ashkenaz. And was the Sea of Ashkenaz potentially somewhere here in this region of Gaul? That's what I'm starting to think about, because it also says here that there's a few villages that carry this name Ashkenaz in Saxony and Hesse, in Germany. But also thought about this Tanais, that it says they made a settlement near the Tanais on the west coast of the Euxine Sea, or maybe now we can call it the Sea of Ashkenaz maybe. But I searched for Tanais, and we do have a Tanais in France, the New Aquitaine region. Let me show you what that is. So in this region here, we have a Tanais. So it's just interesting how it's, by the sea here. So just starting to wonder about potentially this Ashkenaz sea. And if we go to Josephus, he tells us about Ripath, that the Paphlagonians come out of Ripath. So, but when we search for the Paphlagonians, who Josephus is saying comes out of Ripath, the son of Gomer, we come here to Turkey again, because there's a connection with Paphlagonia and this Euxinus. So you can see how important it is that, when the scholars, they connect the Euxinus to the Black Sea, that when you start looking for these kingdoms, like Paphlagonia, that brings us here. But when we think about the sources, there's a very strong connection with the sons of Gomer in this region of Gaul and Germania. So I thought I would search for Ripath, just see what I can find with Ripath. And there is this Ripath in France, the Occitania region. So I was wondering whether this land of Ripath here in France could be named after Ripath of the Bible. And it would kind of make sense because we've seen this connection with France already for these sons of Gomer. So that was interesting. But I want to go into this next bit of information because this was really fascinating. That this word Sepharad, also Sfard, is the Hebrew name for Spain. A place called Sepharad, probably referring to Sardis in Lydia, in the book of Obadiah of the Hebrew Bible. So saying this word Sepharad could be connected to Sardis in Lydia, and this is referenced from this book of Obadiah. Let's just look at this verse. It says, "And this exiled host of the children of Israel, who are with the Canaanites as far as Zarephath, and the exile of Jerusalem which is in Sepharad, shall inherit the cities of the southland." So it's this part here which is potentially very important, that this prophecy is saying that there's going to be exiles of Jerusalem, these Israelites, but they're going to be in the land of Sepharad. But now we can see that this word Sepharad is being connected with Spain. So you can see how that's potentially very important for what we've been saying in these previous videos, where we said, could the Apostle Paul have been born in southern Spain? And now we're seeing this prophecy from Obadiah saying that there could be, there's going to be, according to the prophecy, exiles from Jerusalem in the land of Sepharad. But now we're seeing this word's actually been connected with Spain. So then you can see how it could be possible for the Apostle Paul to be born here if there were exiles of Jerusalem living in the land of Spain. So that's very amazing. And it says here, the name was later applied to Spain and is analogous to Sepharad and Ashkenaz. So there's also a connection with Ashkenaz in this word. So if we go to that, we can just see that this word is connected with France. It's still the name of France in the modern Hebrew. And it's also connected with Ashkenaz. So very interesting. It's going to take a bit of exploring these details. But we really need to think about this part where it says that a place called Sepharad, probably referring to Sardis in Lydia. So isn't this potentially amazing? Because if we go to the satrapy of Lydia, we can see it's called Sparta. So this is the Achaemenid Empire satrapy, Persian Empire, and it's called Sparta. But that word could be coming from Sepharad or Sfard or Sparta. But see how it's connected with Spain. So that potentially could mean that this satrapy of Lydia could actually be in Spain. And if you think about what we spoke about in the previous video, how we were speaking about this journey of Paul in these regions, and we were speaking about these churches in Asia Minor, I said it didn't really feel right that they're here, because the Holy Spirit said that you can't preach the word in Asia, but then you have these ancient churches that's in the book of Revelation in Asia Minor, and it just didn't really fit for me. And now we can see potentially with this information that this, the city of Sardis and potentially the church of Sardis could actually be connected with Sepharad and Spain. So the church of Sardis in Spain. So that's really amazing. And then I went to this page, and it says here, the country called Lydia is referred to by John the Revelator, but not actually named. It's the area that contains the city of Ephesus, Smyrna, Pergamum, Thyatira, Sardis, Philadelphia, and Laodicea. Okay, so it's connecting all these regions and these ancient churches in the book of Revelation with the land of Lydia. And it says here the Lydians called themselves Sfard. See that connection to Sfard and Sepharad. But for some reason the Greeks began to call them the Mayones and their kingdom Maionia. But can you see how vital this could be? That it's actually saying that all these churches could have been in the land of Lydia or the kingdom of Lydia. And how when we're looking for these churches and trying to find out about this journey of Paul, that we come and look here, and they've got these churches here in Asia Minor. But now we can see that this word Sepharad is actually potentially connected with Spain, and that these churches could be in the land of Lydia. But where was the land of Lydia, the kingdom of Lydia? Because remember we had that video where we spoke about, we were looking for the kingdom of Lydia or the land of Lud in North Africa. So now we're going to have to reevaluate a little bit, because now we're seeing the connection with Lydia and Sardis with Spain. So now if the kingdom of Lydia, or maybe it was an empire, maybe, because we can start to see that there's a lot of territory potentially for Lydia, that these churches could actually be in Spain. Very, very fascinating. So the picture is really starting to look stronger here for this region of Spain, and this is what we've been speaking about with Cappadocia and Cilicia and Spain coming around Portugal, and the Iberian Peninsula with Galatia being connected to this Galicia in Spain. And thinking about this Paphlagonia, how Paphlagonia is also here being connected to this Euxinus and the Ashkenaz Sea. So what I'm thinking is that we're actually looking at Spain coming around to Portugal and northern Spain, and now we're going towards France. So Paphlagonia actually being in France, thinking about all the things we've been speaking about with this this region of Gaul and Galatia. But that really, really fascinating connection with this prophecy of Obadiah, saying that there would be exiles of Jerusalem in the land of Sepharad, and this word Sepharad is strongly connected with Spain and Sardis, which could potentially show that there would be exiles living here in Spain. So for the Apostle Paul to be born in Spain is not looking so fanciful a claim now. So I really hope that you're enjoying this video, and gonna have to keep digging, keep exploring to see what else we can find and discover. But now, can you see, I also want to show you this picture of this Persian Empire that we've been presented with. How you can see that it includes Lydia here, but it doesn't go further west than Egypt or Libya. But now we're seeing potentially that this empire of Persia could have been in this region of Spain, with this Lydian kingdom in Spain, and the Persians ruling in Spain. So really fascinating how when you follow this information and you're looking for this truth, how this picture starts to change from what we've been presented with. And this work that we're doing is really, it's very, sometimes you have to wonder and say, could it really be? And you question yourself, do I really believe this? But the more you look at it, and you think about all these videos that we've done, it's starting to look stronger, and we'll keep working. And I think in the next video I would like to speak a bit more about the sons of Gomer, because we've still got to think about Magog. So we're almost getting towards the end of the series on Gomer and his descendants, and so I'd like to do another video on Gomer. So thank you for watching this video, and we'll see you in the next one.